Hello, everyone, and welcome to week 6 of teaching the conspiracies. I hope that you have found this deep dive into both contemporary conspiracy theories as well as the lesson series on Fruit Loop conspiracy theories to be worthwhile, thought provoking, and practical. And I really will value any and all feedback that you can provide on this experience because this is a project I've been working on since 2019. I continue to teach this to my middle school students. And I really think that not only wrestling and trying to understand these issues as teachers and citizens is important, and educators of whatever stripe we might be, I think it's just super important that we find ways to help others in our community, not only young students, but also adults, be able to talk about SIFT and lateral reading and be able to learn these skills. So what I'd like to do in this final video is basically just give you an overview of week 6, talk a little bit about the culminating project, and then wish you good luck. So I'll go ahead, if I can, and switch over to a little screen share view here. And we do not have much in the way of required media this week. The only thing that I would ask you to do basically is to watch 3 or more short. They're like 2-minute student videos that were final projects. The first one that I have here was created by one of my students last year. Mahi really is one of the most exceptional projects. She created this with WeVideo, which isn't a tool that I actually, ask my students to use. It's a great video creation product. She did such a great job synchronizing her ideas to images. It really is exemplary. The second link, though, that I've given you is to a page on my main lesson and curriculum website, and Mahi's is right there in the upper left corner. But these are other projects that have been created by students in past semesters, and for different reasons. I think these are pretty good. And so I just encourage you to take a look at Mahi's and then a couple others. And then if you've got thoughts or responses, you can just go ahead and share those below. Now, we do have a lot of optional media this week. However, there is not a Flipgrid response to do. There's not a weekly create because of the culminating project. So in terms of weekly media, optional media, this video by Crash Course, it's John Green who did the Wikipedia video that I really like to use with my students to help them understand how Wikipedia can be a launch pad and a good launch pad for doing research about a topic. This one is all about lateral reading. It's 4 years old, but it's still so good. And so anyway, that's optional number 1. And then the rest of these are all posts that I have put up in the last couple weeks in a private Facebook group that I've mentioned before called Conspiracies and Culture Wars. And so as basically kind of an example of how I end up sharing a lot of resources, and I didn't put every single one. I think I started here on this February 14th post with this Rob Reiner and Soledad O'Brien new podcast called Who Killed JFK. A lot of things about some contemporary issues. We've had some comments on some different areas of the course about Christian nationalism, and I really commend this on the media podcast, which was back on February 23rd. So this was a couple weeks ago, talking about how Christian nationalism is reshaping fertility rights. But there's really some great background here. I think that is an important aspect to the study of conspiracies and culture wars. And one of the books I think that's referenced, in fact, he may have been one of the folks interviewed in the panel, is Matthew Taylor. And he has just published a new book called The Violent Take It by Force, the Christian movement that is threatening our democracy. So I couldn't get my numberings to work out, at least as of this recording. So there's 11, different articles. But again, these are all optional. You do not have to read these. But kind of flipping back to what we talked about in week 3 with contemporary conspiracy theories, there's just so many ways with the election and contemporary politics that we see conspiracy theories airing themselves or just being a part of media and the conversations that we should be having around media literacy. So finally, there is a page here on a culminating project guidelines. And I realize that you all are doing a culminating project for the main institute. I'm just asking you to reflect a little bit on our micro-credential course here on teaching the conspiracy theories. And you've got several different options. I don't want this to have to be an incredibly laborious and time-consuming activity, but basically as a way of synthesizing, summarizing and synthesizing your ideas. You could create a video. You can create what I'm terming a media bricolage. And so that can be a combination of sketch notes, info pics, artwork, images you've made with AI, images you found online, anything that you want to represent some of your key takeaways from the course. That could be a slideshow. It could take a bunch of different formats and versions. You can also write an essay, okay, if you'd like to be text-based, which is absolutely fine. What I'd encourage you to do if you do write an essay is to go ahead and include some hyperlinks. Because that is a great way for others to be able to extend their learning. And you may have noticed as I respond to a lot of the comments in the course as the instructor, I try to model that in some cases where I'll provide links to extra information. You can just share that here inside Pathwrite and turn that in. Optionally, I'd love it if you would turn it in on our Padlet board. We actually have a large number of folks who have engaged with our course, but not everybody is completing all of the assignments. So that just may mean that not everybody is wanting to earn the actual credential for completing the course. But if you're willing to share your synthesis of ideas on the Padlet, that would be awesome. As a bonus, if you want to share it into that private Facebook group for Conspiracies and Culture Wars, I would invite that. And if we get a number of submissions, and I'm not sure if we will or not in this class, I would encourage you to provide some feedback for that. This is an absolutely optional thing, but I mentioned in the sharing options, inside sharing, which is inside our course, and then outside sharing, which is on this Padlet board and potentially in this Facebook group. Back in 2016, my wife and I gave a little mini keynote at a conference in Austin called iPad Palooza. And we talked a little bit about that if you're interested. So I think that is going to wrap it up. Again, I hope that you have enjoyed this course. I have really enjoyed the opportunity to, for myself, synthesize these materials and kind of put them into a 6-week format. This is a project I plan to continue working on as a professional educator and a real advocate for media literacy. I plan to write this as a book, and I'd like to have this in a format that instructors at different levels can basically take and remix and integrate into their courses. And I'm also, of course, interested in learning the kinds of things that other teachers are doing, talking about conspiracy theories and finding ways to talk about these skills, learn about SIF, learn about lateral reading, and keep our jobs, which is important. But critical thinking is vital. And I want to salute you for your participation here in the Media Ed Institute, as well as your participation in our micro-credential course. These topics are so important. The role that we play as educators is vital. And I look forward to hopefully continuing to have contact with you and collaborate with you and learn with you in the weeks and months ahead, even after the Institute concludes. Good luck to you. I look forward to seeing your final project.